Uh, Good evening, students.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir, one thing request, can you share any PDF or any slides, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Can we start?
Yes, sir.
All have joined. Somebody wants to join, so I should join all. Then I will start.
Okay, sir.
Wait for 5 more minutes.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
अशी मुश्मना इखा
Oh, okay.
असं तो नियर गास्ते.
So all have joined. So now I will start. So
Okay, sir.
first of all, today's class is on the block 2. So the block 2 is also, I will discuss it today now, block 2. So you have just someone joining. So wait for 1 or 2 minutes, because once they will join, then only I will start it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, sir. Hello.
Mahadev, बोलिए.
Hi, sir. One request. Can you share any
Uh,
PDF or any slides? So
ye-
actually, sir,
yes.
sometimes his voice
Mahadev,
is
no. See, Mahadev, actually, the PDF, can you download
not
from
audible, sir.
eGyanKosh? Hello?
That's why I catch the which type of read about.
Hel-
Yes, sir. Yes,
Mahadev,
sir.
can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yes. No,
I'm
actually,
audible,
your
sir.
voice is also not coming properly. Now it's audible. Now you are audible.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Mahadev, listen. Hello?
Sir,
You are
it is
listening to me,
which
Mahadev?
sector belongs to MCH-001 or 004? Hello.
See, it is
Yes.
001, which is very difficult one.
Hello. Yeah,
001.
tell me, sir.
001.
Acha. Okay, sir.
001. See, the actually,
Okay.
uh,
Okay,
the,
sir. Sir, can you share any?
wait, listen to me. First of all, listen to me. Actually, 001 is purely of mathematical things.
Actually, sir, any PDF or any lighter, any.
Yes. Listen. The PDF is there in the
Okay. Okay.
eGyanKosh. Can you download, or I can download it
Okay.
and send you? Hello?
Yes. Hi, sir. I'm also download it, sir. And my also printout is available. Yes,
Yes.
sir.
From
Hello.
that also from that PDF I am
Hello.
teaching to you. From
Okay.
that
Okay,
PDF.
sir.
See, actually, this is not related to chemistry. See, actually, the unit 1 is related to analytical chemistry. That means simply I can say that it is simply a mathematical things. Means not chemistry, very less chemistry,
Okay.
more is mathematical things.
Oh,
So
okay,
it is
sir.
not actually, it is a laboratory work.
Okay.
For example, when you are going to a laboratory and giving some sample, then they are providing you some data. Yes or no?
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
this
Actually, sir, I am
this
from Kolkata. I don't know, sir.
see, this data we are analyzing it. It is
Hello.
not purely chemistry like chemical bonding, atomic structure. So my topic is very difficult topics are there. Block 1, block 2, block 3. They are based on analytical data, analytical laboratory data. That the main problem is this one. The main problem lies with the data.
Okay, sir. I understand that.
Yes, because this is not purely chemistry. For example, organic chemistry, okay, or any other chemistry, but this is purely based on analytical data. Therefore, you are facing some problem, but I am trying to explain you. So if you remain in the class, then definitely I will, if you can ask any question also, I will definitely make you understand. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
If
Now,
I am getting any problem, then I knock it, sir. Okay.
yes, you can see. Yes, you can. My number also. Have you seen my number, or you need my number?
Okay, sir. Please you write on any text your mobile number. So whenever I getting problem to touch with you, sir.
Yes,
So please
you can take
text
my
or
number. That number you can call me, no problem.
okay, sir. Okay. Please share with us,
Okay,
sir.
because it is not possible
Thank
to tell everything to you in this class. Okay, summer editing. Okay, summer is joining. Okay, joining. Therefore, I
you,
am
sir.
requesting all of you to be touch with me so that I can able to understand you. Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Unit 4. So myself, Dr. Rajesh Kumar Sahu, Assistant Professor Stage 3 in Chemistry. And I am in a BJP Autonomous College, but now I am transferred to the government in Higher Education Department, Government of Odisha. So now I am in the Department of Higher Education. But as earlier the classes have been allocated to me, therefore I am continuing with this. So today we will go Unit 4 and Unit 5. Unit 4 is again very difficult one. but I will tell you in a simpler way. Sampling. Sampling means how to prepare a sample. How to prepare a sample. There are things I will discuss it. This is also one of the important thing. So, and the unit 4 is called sampling. Sampling. In sampling this unit, I will let you know what is sampling. Then what is the different factors relating to sampling. Then sampling facilities, sampling frequency, sampling container, sampling equipment, air sampling, then sampling of solid waste. So like this, I will discuss one by one. Okay, I will discuss one by one. So first of all, look at to the first one, that is called, what is called sampling. You know that whenever you are doing any investigation, then you need a sample. For example, you have prepared a chemical sample or any sample in liquid state or in solid state or in gaseous state also. This sample you need to be tested. So for example, your sample is in liquid state. Then how to take this sample? How to collect a sample? Sampling is a process to collect a portion of a material small enough in volume to be conveniently transported to and handled in the laboratory. For example, you have prepared a iron bar, and the iron bar, and the iron bar you have prepared in the lab, but the iron bar is bigger in length, but you need to be tested. Please, Suraj, please, your microphone is on. Suraj, can you hear me? Suraj, can you hear me? Suraj, can you hear me? Please mute. Please mute your microphone. Okay. So the sampling is a process to collect a portion of a material. For example, a material you have prepared is very large in volume, but you need to test the sample, the material, whatever the desired properties the material has, you have to test it. Therefore, you take a very small portion of the material. So, sampling is a process to collect a portion of the material small enough in volume to be conveniently transported to and to handled in the laboratory, while still accurately representing the material being sampled. Therefore, main aim is to prepare a sample in small volume, in very small volume. Remember one thing here, that whenever you are going for a test, always take a very little amount of the sample. Sample size should be very small. For example, you are taking water from a river, or water from a, for example, as a storage channel, means water quality you want to identify, or I want to know. Then what you do, you take a very little amount of water. Don't take all the water, because a little amount of water will tell you the properties present in the whole amount of water. Therefore, sometimes we are testing the river water. So river water has a, as you know, the river water is always polluted due to pollutants. As you know that the pollutants coming from the sewage are directly channelized to river. Therefore, river water is polluted. So you want to test the river water. So you take a very little sample of the river water in solid form or in liquid form. For example, sometimes the river water is dried up into solid at the shore. For that solid also you can take for collection. So this is oh yes, my screen is not visible. If you want to see me, then again no problem, I can on my video. Otherwise I will off it, no problem, because all of video is off, so no problem. So if you want to see me, then video will be on. No issues. So so therefore, during any environmental study, you take the sample of air, sample of water, or sample of any solid substances. The sample must be a very small in size. Okay. So therefore, Anil, actually I am switching off my the video, because it is not so much required. What is required is, because I am not showing any slide. I am just reading the PDF and explaining you all these things. So if you need to see me, then no problem. Otherwise, I can simply mute my video. I can switch up my video. Okay. Then factors are relevant to sampling. See, here you see that there are many factors relevant sampling. One is the sample size. Then second one is the sample collection position, where you are collecting the sample. For example, the river water is most polluted where it is connected to a drainage system of the town or city. So there you collect the sample. If you collect the sample far away from the city, then the water may not then the water may not contain all the ingredients what you look into. Therefore, always remember that if you are going to test the water sample, then you must take it at the river side, means at the drainage side, where the drainage system meets the river. From that position, you collect the water. So collection of the sample is very important. Similarly, sometimes solid waste, food materials, etc. For example, if you want to test the food material, then you take the food, whatever the food material you have prepared, you can take it. But remember that the food material should not be, you can say, stored at high temperature or high at very low temperature, because you are going to test the sample. The sample must be at normal condition. Then only you can take it. Next one is sampling also depends on its you can say it depends on its environmental monitoring. That means sometimes you have known that the environment also has a great impact on the sample. For sample collection, factors relevant sample collection is very important to test the sample. Okay, so now we'll go to one by one. Water sampling means, as just I have told you, the objective of the water quality monitoring system is very important. You know that nowadays many industries have come up in the city or in the town, for which the water is being polluted due to more industrialization, due to more urbanization. Also, the people are staying in the town. People are migrated from village to town, and they are depending on many things for which water being polluted. So water pollution is the biggest problem all over all the world, also in India. So definitely when you become when you become you can say a scientist or a simple chemist, then you have to test the quality of water. The water quality can be monitored by this water sampling method. And here, main thing is to assess the impact of activities by man upon the quality of water and its suitability for required uses, and to determine the quality of water in its natural site, which might be available to meet the future need, and to keep other observations, the sources and the pathway of specified hazardous substances. So therefore, water sampling is the most important and need of lot of care. So remember, depending on the water sampling, only you can able to know that which water is polluted and which water is safe for drinking, which water is safe for the animals. So all these things you have to look into. First of all, as I have told you, one minute. First of all, the possible sites from where you can collect water is called site of location for rivers, like from river. So see, the major city are connected to river. As you know, from Indus Valley civilization, the civilization starts from the river Indus. Why? Because As you know, river is very, river will provide you water, river will provide you transport system, and near the river, the land is fertile. This is the reason why always the industrialization, urbanization, or you can say civilization grows near the river side. So, the possible, yes, Rajesh, please, please, please. The possible sampling site of a river passing through a major city are given below. First one is immediately downstream of an international boundary. Immediately downstream of an international boundary. So international boundary means India-Bhutan border, India-Nepal border. So there, the downstream means the water coming up to the our country is go downstream. You have to collect the water. That is one side, side one. Side two is at a place of abstraction from public supply of large town. Abstraction for public supply of large town. Third one is fishing area, recreation area or amenity zone. Fourth one is large scale agriculture irrigation. There also you can collect water sample. Fifth one is fresh water tidal or major river. Sixth one is large industrial supply. Seventh one is downstream of industrial effluent discharges, an important tributary influencing the main river. And the eighth one is baseline station where water is available in natural state. In natural state. So these are the some 8 sites from where you can collect water from the river. Next one is lake site. Lake means a place where principal feeder tributary meets the lake. Means if a lake is there, then you know that lake, the water from various tributaries meet the lake. That point is, from that point also you can collect water or the sample of water. Next is at a central place of lake. The lake central place also you can collect water. So there are 2 sides, and third one is a place from where water is pumped for water supply to major city. From lake also you are collecting water, and you are just pumping water and supplying to major city. From there also you can collect the sample of water. See, we are those we have lately joined. I just told them that I am discussing about the water sampling methods. So remember, this is not related to chemistry. It is analytical chemistry. Analytical means you are doing some test. Test means you know chemical test. How many types of tests are there? In the last class, yesterday class, I've explained. Today I am going in details about water sampling. Means water at the river side, water at the lake side. So how to collect the sample of water, that thing I am discussing it. Then at a place from where water is discharged from the lake. From the lake, the water must be discharged. That place also you collect some water sample. These are the sample collection from river and what from lake. Okay. Then we'll go to types of sample. Sample types are mainly grab or catch sample, composite sample, or integrated sample. Grab or catch type. What do you mean by this? For example, a sample is collected at a particular time and the place can represent only the composition of the source at that time and place. Grab sample means, grab means catch. Catch means, for example, you are going to a lake site today in the morning, and then at that time, maybe that water may be less polluted or more polluted depending on the discharge coming to the lake. or any rainfall or any other form of water discharging system, rainfall or through the drainage system, then particular time and particular place is very important, because when we are going to collect the sample, at the morning, at the daytime, at the evening, it is very important. Place and time is very important for collecting a sample. So however, when a source is known to be fairly constant in composition over a considerable period of time or over a substantial distance in all direction, then the sample uh, may be said to be represent a longer time period or larger volume or both in the specific point it is collected. Such cases it is called as the catch sample. Means catch sample means you know a source, and and you know that that source is constantly behaving for the few days or few months. Means the place where you are collecting the sample is and the place is not variable. Mean the pollution amount is not variable. It is merely about constant for a frequent for a period of time. Then this is called as a graph sample. And remember, uh, in case the in time, a set of samples collected from appropriate location with less emphasis on timing may provide the most useful information. So, for example, you know that okay, this place the composition is changing, means water quality is not so good for few days. Then again, the water quality improves. Then you can take a position where the quality is constant for a period of time. Period of time may be days, maybe month, depending on your testing quality, testing or your requirement. You can. So remember, this is called the catch sample. Composite sample. What? Composite means a mixture of graph samples. For example, you collected a sample at a particular place, then again you collect a sample at some distance, again collect some sample from another distance, and just mix it. This is called the composite sample. Time composite samples are most useful for observing average concentration as an alternative to the separate analysis of large number of samples, followed by computation of average and total result. So whenever you are collecting sample, then better to collect a composite sample. A mixture of graph samples means you are you know what is graph sample, a particular time and particular place. But when you are collecting many such samples and mix them together, this is called composite samples. The next one is integrated samples. A mixture of graph samples collected from different points simultaneously or as nearly as possible one minute, student, 1 minute. Please wait for a minute. Okay. So now again coming back. So whenever then one is called integrated samples. So what do you mean by integrated samples? I can say you here that a mixture of graph samples collected from different points simultaneously or as nearly as possible is called integrated samples. So as I have told you, graph sample means you are collecting water from a river from a particular place and particular time. Then when you are mixing graph samples at different time, it is called as composite sample. But when different places and different timing, you are collecting water samples and mixing them together, it is called integrated samples. So I think, have you got it? Three things I have discussed. Types of sample. How to collect a sample. One is graph sample, then a composite sample, then is integrated samples. So this is, see, we are collecting samples of water from the river or lake at different position, different time, same position, same place, different time, or you can simply call same place and same time. That is called as the sampling of water. The next one is there are many sampling facilities are there. One is called as a bank site. Bank site money means what? The sample may be collected from the bank of a river or a lake. The sample should preferably be taken where water is turbulent or from the outside bank of a bend where water is usually fast and deep. Means you collect water where it is turbulent. Means ऐसे just जैसे चक्कर लगाना है ना ऐसे चक्कर लगाना होगा water. There you can collect water to have a better understanding of the water quality. Similarly, boats. Boat is useful for sampling at any point. You can use boat. So बोट में जाना है मालूम है कि रिवर में एक बोट लगाओ और बोट में चलो और दूर से जाकर एक कोई जो मैंने बोला कि different places you can collect the sample. So through a boat you can collect the sample also. Sometimes bridges. As you know, bridges are usually preferred because of their easy of access, the exact identification of the sampling point, the ability to control the lateral and vertical position of the sampling. So bridges also, where big bridges are there also you collect the water sample. One is cable wedge. Cable wedge used for current velocity measurements can also be employed here. Helicopter, you know helicopter. Sampling by helicopter has an advantage of flexibility. Sample may be taken at any point on a river or lake speedily. It is also possible to reach places where accessible is difficult otherwise. For example, एक लेक से बहुत दूर है, पहाड़ के दोनों पहाड़ के अंदर में है और एक लेक जा रहा है, तो very difficult to go there by boat or if the velocity of water is very high, then also very difficult to go through a boat. Then there the water can be collected through helicopter also. There are some modes of collecting water. One is boat, bridge, cable wedge, helicopter, and bank site. The next one is sampling frequency. Then water samples should be collected at intervals so that no change in quality could pass unnoticed. So you have to collect at different intervals. The quality of water in various water bodies is rarely, if any, constant in time, but is subjected to a change. As you know, the quality of water in various bodies changes. So while there may be some relationship between the rate of change of different determinants on the alter independently, the larger the members of the sample from which mean is derived, the narrower will be the limits of the probable differences between the observed and the true values. Therefore, the sampling is very important. From where you are collecting sample is very important. If you are collecting sample at different sites, different places, different time, definitely you get very, very good values of their study. Otherwise, if you are collecting a sample, same place, several samples from the same place, then you get the similar result. Nothing, it will not helpful to know the water quality of a river or a lake. Okay, then we go to sample container and equipments. So remember, sample bottles are mainly made up of either glass or plastic. Usually polythene bottles are used. It is capable of being tightly sealed either by a stopper or a cap. The bottle should be soaked with 10% hydrochloric acid for 24 hours. This is the first one I'm telling you. Always remember that okay. Then, so first of all, the sample bottle must be either glass or plastic, and it must be polythene. Then it must be have a cap tightly sealed with a cap, and the bottle should be soaked with 10% hydrochloric acid for 24 hours, and then thoroughly cleaned and rinsed with distilled water. So, okay, the bottle you are using must be sucked. Sucked means dipping. Dipping in 10% hydrochloric acid for 24 hours. So that the bottle should be free from germs or any type of impurities present in it. And then it is thoroughly cleaned and rinsed with distilled water. Okay. The next one is a ball valve. Okay. Then we'll go to some sampling equipments one by one. One is we are going sampling equipments one by one. First one is a ball valve type sampler. Ball valve type sampler. See, this sampler is used for the collection of sample at any desirable depth. Means कोई भी depth for example, you are collecting water from a river. The river is of different depth and different position. So at a desirable depth, this sampler can be used. The sampler is lowered up and desired depth, and then valve is opened by rapidly. Means if you are, then you simply throw the ball valve type sampler into water. It go deep to the level of water, and then immediately a desired depth, whatever the depth you need to open. Once the valve is rapidly, it is closed up. When it is can take it out, and this is called as the ball valve type sampler. Simple things, just like a ball having a valve. So you can drop this ball valve sampler to a particular depth of the river, and then the ball valve will open up immediately. It will again closed, and you can collect the water from the various depth, because you know that water in the upper surface has different pollutants, in the middle one different, in the lower bed different. So water quality of water is not always equal everywhere. It is always changing with depth, changing with the position or place. Therefore, the sampling of water is very important. Then similarly, one is called as the desert sampler. This sampler is a bottle of convenient size surrounded by a lead sheath and closed by a rubber bung containing two holes. Through one hole passes a glass tube leading nearly to the bottom of that bottle, and through the other a short glass tube, the tube being connected at the top by a rubber tubing. It is a type of you can say bottle having two holes are there. So one hole you have a glass tube, and second hole you have a rubber tubing. Means a type of sampling bottle. That's all. I'm telling. I want to tell you. It's a sampling bottle. This bottle is used to collect the water sample at various depth. This is also used for water sampling. Similarly, Friedinger bottle is also a type of sampling or collecting water at different depth of the river or lake also. And you please, I request you to read it in detail because it is not possible to explain detail of each one. Just having a, because I'm trying to explain you, but remember now I am explaining you the type of bottles required for sampling. So heading must you must remember, and then you have to read yourself because it is not possible to explain everything in a short span of time. Similarly, Kemere and Rotner type of sampler, Wells sampler, Watt flask sampler, like these are sampler bottles, and these bottles are made up of glass, made up of plastic, like this, and they have different features. And depending on their different features, they are used to collect the water sample. Any doubt till now I can discuss because nearly about 1 hour going to be complete. So it is 45 minutes. So only 10 minutes left for the first hour to complete. Any doubt till now you can ask me. Then I will start the sampling procedures. Nagesh, Mohadev, Akarsan, Rajasmita, Somnath. Are you all listening to me or not?
Yes, sir. Listening, sir. All okay, sir.
Very good. Actually, I am discussing, Mohadev, it is helpful to discuss because
Hello.
Yes, sir, it is helpful, sir.
Mohadev,
Hello. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell me.
hello. Yeah,
Hello.
listening to me, Mohadev?
Sir, your voice is breakable, sir. Not clear.
Yes, Nagesh, you are listening. Okay, okay. Somnath,
महेंद्र कुमार सर जी व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप क्रिएट किया क्या? प्रकाश कुमार सर साहू सर दिया ना आपका नंबर?
Now, hello? Now, can you hear me now?
Sir, voice is breakable, sir.
Well, I- well, no.
No, sir, not audible. Your voice.
Not audible at all.
Yes, sir, not audible. Your voice sometimes.
Audible. Uh, what should I say? What should I do? I don't know. But the network has some problem. Issues are there here.
Now okay, sir. Now sometimes okay.
Sometimes okay, sometimes not okay. Anyway, so now again I'm discussing two sampling procedures. So now we'll discuss sampling procedures. So remember, the sampling procedure means how to just now we have discussed about where to collect sample. Then we have discussed about the different sampling bottles or samplers. So now how to do the sampling, called sampling procedures. There are many procedures are there. But the general procedure of sampling is that in sampling, the objective is to remove a small portion of the environment that is representative of entire body. And the procedure must be capable of providing a valid sample. Means remember always, whenever people try to look, try to um,
Sir, voice is not
collect
clear, sir. Breakable.
the sample from a place
Is it audible to?
Is it audible to you, students, or
Yes,
not?
sir, audible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now it is audible, na?
Yes.
Actually, some network issues are there for which I am unable to connect you always. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Now it is
Yes.
okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mahadev. Now I don't know how much time it will be that the network will be available in a good way. But now it is available, okay?
Yes, sir, audible. Clear, sir. Voice is clear.
Okay, now it is available, na?
Yes.
Now you can listen me? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay, okay. So, okay. So, this is the different types of sampling procedures I have discussed. So now we'll go to the next part of it. That is the next chapter of this one, the next unit. Unit 5 we will discuss. The unit 5 is safety in a chemical laboratory. Very interesting one. So what type? So okay, you have prepared sample and then you have tested it. So during testing, you need your safety in a chemical laboratory. So what type of safety you need? That one I am discussing now. For example, maintenance of safety in a chemical laboratory, safety aspects, and in the designing of a chemical laboratory, chemical hazards in the laboratory means when you are doing a particular test in a lab, then remember that the particular lab should be have safety instruments or safety in all respects. Otherwise, during testing, various different chemicals, we are using different types of substances, and the instruments are also very much, you can say, costly. Therefore, you have to be sure about the safety of the lab. So, I will discuss one by one. First of all, that whenever you are going to a lab, the most important thing is that wearing an appropriate apron or cloth. Whatever the particular test you are going to happen in a lab, then you have to wear a definitely a protective cloth. When depending instrument you are doing or depending on the test you are doing, you have to wear a appropriate cloth. The next one is appropriate cloth. Next one is that you need the personal code of behavior in the lab. Means personal code means personal code in the lab. Then next is what to do or do not do. It is always there. Everywhere you know that in a kitchen where you are cooking, also you know what to do, what not to do. That is after the cooking is over, you should switch the knob of the gas cylinder. You should switch the knob of the gasket. Then always you change your gas pipe whenever it is necessary. And after a few years, you know that gas pipe may have some damage. Similarly, in a chemical lab also, when you are doing a chemical test, you have to be sure about the do's and don't do. Similarly, the possible means of chemical exposure to the human body. For example, you are doing a test in a lab, but you know that if something will mishappen, then the chemicals will go out or simply the human means the people staying near the chemical laboratory may be affected. So you have to be cautious about the means of exposure of chemical to the human body. Similarly, the nature of chemicals and the required handling precautions, how, what type of chemicals you are using, and then what type of handling um, precautions you are taking. These are very important for all of you. So I am discussing some of the safety guidelines when you are to uh, identify the chemical and liquid handling precautions. The next is the importance of compatibility of chemicals with storing them in the laboratory. Means the chemicals you are going to test, you have to store it for a few days. So during storing also, um, there may be some issues like due to change in temperature, change in pressure or volume. Then the sampling bottle may also burst. So therefore, you have to be cautious about the sample you are keeping in the particular bottle in the laboratory. Similarly, follow appropriate safety precautions while dealing with chemicals, glassware, apparatus, and electrical equipments. Because, as you know, that many nowadays all the all type of tests or all types of laboratory testing is done with the help of equipments or electrical equipments. So you have to be sure about the electrical equipments you are using, because sometimes if you are not aware of the electrical equipments, then there may be also some problems arises. So there are to have a safe test in a laboratory, you have to maintain the safety protocol in the lab. Therefore, there are many safety protocols are there, like safety aspects in designing of a chemical laboratory. So when a chemical laboratory you are designing, you have to get certificate from the Bureau of Indian Standards, or BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, because they have prescribed a code of safety in chemical features when you are dealing with some laboratory testing. So you have to your laboratory room, your laboratory area, fire safety equipments, fume cupboards, gas and water pipelines, sinks, drains, laboratory furnitures, stores, etc. should be according to the Bureau of Indian Standards. Students, you are listening to me clearly now? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So whenever a chemical laboratory is going to be set up, it has to take a certificate from Bureau of Indian Standards that okay, this laboratory is very much safe to use, because you know that there is a gas tragedy which is very painful for all of us, called the leakage of methyl isocyanide. You know, Bhopal gas tragedy. This happens because of, maybe we don't know the real cause behind it. It is a human error, or something else. We do not know clearly, but it is one type of the lack of safety in dealing with this type of dangerous chemical tests like methyl isocyanide preparation. So methyl isocyanide, which is related to Bhopal gas tragedy, is because of the safety, not safety, because not following the safety procedures of for you can say operating a chemical laboratory. So you can see the PDF of your note, where you can see a modern chemical laboratory, how it looks, means how the laboratory looks like. Then Okay. So the various safety protocols you have to take during preparation of a chemical laboratory. Very important thing is that one. During preparation of a chemical laboratory, your safety protocols must be maintained. As I have discussed you, similarly, remember one more thing, that whenever you are going to set up an industry, chemical industry, and there you find it that whenever the laboratory you are going to set up, then they always ask about the certificates obtaining from different departments. Certificates obtaining from different departments. One of them is Bureau of Indian Standards, and second one is the Department of Chemical and Fertilizers. See, different departments are you are, for example, you are preparing a chemical, then you have to get certificate from that particular industry or department, a particular ministry or department. So depending on your need, you can have the different type certificates obtained from different departments. Then code of practice in a laboratory. What you do, what do not do. Always wear the required protective clothing in the lab or coat. Wear shoes that adequately cover the whole foot. Means you have to wear shoes. Then low heeled shoe with non-slip soles as perfect preferable. See, this is a do or do not do. Keep the hands away from the face, eyes, mouth. Find out the position of the main switches from controlling supplies of water, gas, or electricity. Inspect all equipments for damage. Is there any damage in the instruments or cracks or defects? Then we have to make it okay. Inform other lab staffs and teachers regarding any breakage, any faulty equipments you have, all these defects. Immediately we have to inform. Wipe off any spilled chemical immediately. If any chemical spilled or wasted or damaged, then you have to remove it from the lab. Keep the apparatus which is no longer required in the cupboards. Then use many do and don't do are there. You have to read all these things. Never eat, drink, or smoke in the lab. Don't do. Never eat, drink, or smoke in the lab. Do not sniff materials which may be toxic, and never test chemicals. Never work alone in the lab. See, when you are working in a chemical lab, never work alone, because sometimes something may happen, and therefore you have to be remain with your friends or with your colleagues during working in a lab. Never perform any unauthorized experiment, for example, or leave any experiment unattended. For example, an experiment has been started, so you remain in that particular position. Don't go outside or don't simply stop it, because it may create some problem. So you have to be clear about it. Don't allow organic solvents to accumulate in the lab. You know, organic solvents are very much susceptible to fire. So there may happen fire accidents also, because they are inflammable also. Therefore, do not allow the organic solvents to accumulate. Then always remember that many things are there. Do not engage in practical jokes or anything else during the laboratory, because when you are doing some work, then don't do some practical joke. मैं ऐसा करता हूँ, मैं ऐसे कर दूंगा, मैं ऐसे हो जाएगा, मैंने देखा ऐसे होने के लिए, or I can do this one. So don't do any magic in the practical lab. Never try to stop or slow down a centrifuge with your hand. Centrifuge, you know, centrifuge means water entering, water going. So don't do anything which can be done mechanically. Don't do it on your hand, because sometimes any loose or any type of um, uh, what you can say problem may arise when you are handling with your own hand. Don't do like these things. Always always exercise care when opening and closing doors of the lab. When you are closing the door or opening the door of a lab, then always take care of it. Hmm. So these are some do's and don't do's. Remember, all these things are very easy. You read yourself. You can know what you can do and what you should not do it. You are all hearing to me? Yes. You are all hearing to me? Yes.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Can I take 1 minute or 2 minute break
Yes,
for
sir.
water?
Yes.
Can I take 1 or 2 minutes
Yes, sir.
break for water?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll start again. Next one is hello. Hello, you are
Yes, sir.
listening
Yes,
all?
sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
next
sir.
one
Yes,
is
sir.
personal protective devices. For example, see when you are you know that what you do, what you do not do in a lab, but it is very important that you must use a lab coat. For your safety, you must use a lab coat while working in the laboratory. This is very important thing. Second one is you must have some spectacle or safety goggles. Safety goggles you must have. if you agree that eyes are most precious, as you know, eyes are most precious, so you must use goggles, because sometimes the chemical may come and enter in your eyes, or may a few drops of chemicals may simply make your eyes burn, or sometimes it may damage your eye cornea, or the eye head. So eye lip like this. Therefore, you use always goggle. Then next is gloves. When you are doing or you are just simply, yeah, taking some chemicals and adding into a new apparatus, or adding into a new bottle, then you must use some gloves on your hand. So gloves are recommended to be used while transforming the toxic or radioactive, or you can say carcinogenic compounds, or irritants, and or corrosive liquids. So whenever you are handling with corrosive liquids, irritants, or carcinogenic compounds, then you must use the gloves. So three things to use. One is your lab coat. Then next one is your safety goggle, and goggles, or you can say the spectacle, and then you have gloves. Then next one is chemical hazards in the laboratory. So do you know that the chemical hazards always happen in the laboratories? But we have to be sure about that. The safety instruments or the safety protocols must be added into. Otherwise, there will be a problem. So most of the chemical exposure or exposure to chemicals are: one is inhalation. Sometimes the vapor or fumes comes out and you are inhaling. As I know, whatever I know, I'm explaining you. In our own district, Balasore, there is a factory which is used some chemicals to preserve fish, and to transport fish. So the chemicals used are very dangerous, like liquid ammonia or gaseous ammonia. This liquid ammonia sometimes have a leakage. So when liquid ammonia leaked from the factory, then immediately, as you know, liquid ammonia very fast spreads in air and comes in contact with your nose, and immediately it you may be senseless, or it may cause vomiting also. Therefore, inhalation is the main thing is that when there is any exposure to chemical, then one first thing is inhalation. Why inhalation? Because you know we need what? We need always um, air. Without air or without oxygen, we can't live. So as we are taking air always, so inhalation is the biggest problem. Next one is ingestion. Ingestion means oral route. कुछ खा लेते हैं, कुछ खा लिया तुमने. It is called inhalation. So inhalation is one more problem you will face. Inhalation is also a problem. You face it. Therefore, inhalation is also an issue during any exposure of chemical. Third one is fire. As you know, this is very dangerous for all of us, caused by inflammable liquid. So any inflammable liquid is there in the lab, then it may any type of mishandling can catch fire and explosion. This is very dangerous for all of us, because you know, therefore, working in a chemical lab is not easy for all of us. It takes so much preparation, so much careful, or so much care, or so much precautions also, you can say. So the four important things which the mode of exposure to chemical is inhalation, ingestion, and fire and explosion. Okay, next is so these are some of the experiments. So you read yourself um, about different types of inhalation or ingestions. Now I will explain you effect of chemicals on body. What affects the chemicals? If you are working in a chemical lab, then how it affects the your body. So all of you are listening to me. Effects of chemicals in on body. I am explaining you. Um, hello, or you are listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So for example, The chemicals are acids. So now you find some chemistry behind now. Acids, alkali, alcohols, aldehyde, ketones, then carbon monoxide, compounds like sulfur, phosphorus, nitrogen, cyanides, esters, ethers, halogens, hydrocarbons, and mercury. So I am explaining some of this because the very important question will come from this: which chemicals affect our body, and from that chemicals, which chemicals, how it affects. First one is acids. You know, many acids we use in the lab. One is hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, carbonic acid, and also carbolic acid and acetic acid. For these acids cause severe burns and tissues damage. So this, if you inhale or you are using these acids, then it may causes burns and tissue damage. Okay. Next is alcohols irritate mucous membrane. So it is a biological term, mucous membrane. It irritates mucous membrane. And you know, methanol can cause blindness also. So if you are using methanol and methanol exposure occurs in a lab and you have exposed to this methanol exposure, then it may simply cause blindness. Aldehyde ketones, these may irritate on tissues and produce narcotic effects on inhalation, absorption, and ingestions. Alkali like sodium, potassium, or ammonium hydroxide can cause severe tissue burns and bronchial spasms. So bronchial problems may occur if you are using alkalis in a lab. Carbon monoxide, prolonged exposure to carbon monoxide is toxic, as you know, and may prevent and may simply lead to death also. Because you know that carbon monoxide sometimes forms a permanent bond with iron present in hemoglobin. So if you are exposed to carbon monoxide, then there is a maximum chance that you face inhalation problem of oxygen, and at last the supply of oxygen in the body will decrease, and at last it may lead to death also, or having a deadly experience you may feel. Then sulfur, phosphorus, these are very much a problem for your skin and destroy respiratory tissues. It can destroy respiratory tissues. This is an important thing, you remember it. It can destroy the respiratory tissue also. You are all listening to me? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Then esters, yes, esters, cyanides, these are very toxic and poisoning and also creating irritation. Similarly, halogens are corrosive and highly irritating to tissues. Hydrocarbons like methane, ethane, or alkanes are carcinogenic in nature. They can cause cancer also. Therefore, you must be very using safety instruments or safety precautions you must take during working in the chemical lab. Mercury is quite poisonous in nature. Therefore, care to handle it. Okay. Then one is called acute and chronic effects. Sometimes poisoning is so fast or so vigorous that there may be a chronic effect also. So if the effects of accidents due to chemicals are severe and immediate on the human being, this is called acute effects, and it can be taken care of immediately. Otherwise, many of the lives you have to lose. So acute effect is drunkenness and vomiting. Means, for example, the vomiting hoga to ye acute hoga. Chronic means addiction, liver damage. If that thing occurs several times, means several times you are vomiting in a lab or you are not well enough, then remember that you have a biggest problem, that is the chronic effect may occur and your liver may damage. Then there are many things are there. Fume cope board is one of these. Fume cope board is there. Then classification of hazardous materials. Okay, this is very important one. You know that the classification of hazardous materials was recommended by United Nations Committee of Experts on Transport of Hazardous Goods, and they have classified hazardous materials into various classes. Class 1 is explosive, then class 2 is gases, class 3 is flammable liquids, class 4 is flammable solids, and class 5 is oxidizing substances, class 6 is poisonous and infectious substances, class 7 is radioactive substances, class 8 corrosive substances, class 9 is miscellaneous dangerous substances. So these are some of the hazardous chemicals and their classifications. We will go a few of these classifications. One is, explosives. So various chemicals are very much explosive in nature. One is called dinitrobenzene. Remember this, dinitrobenzene is very explosive chemical. Similarly, gases, a substance which has a critical temperature below 50 degree has a lower vapor pressure, has a vapor pressure more than 3 bar, absolute is classified as a gas. So what is a gas? A gas means it has a temperature below 50 degrees centigrade, the critical temperature below 50 degrees centigrade, and has a vapor pressure of more than 3 bar is called as a gas. Gas which are compressed, liquefied or dissolved under pressure or refrigerated come under the category of hazardous gas. So जो गैस को हमने रेफ्रिजरेटर में रखते हैं और फ्रीजिंग करते हैं तो इसको बोलते हैं hazardous gas. So the hazardous gases are some of the hazardous gases are poisonous also. Flammable gases are mainly from the gases. I'm classifying again. Flammable gases, they are acetylene and hydrogen. They are called flammable gases. Acetylene and hydrogen. Acetylene and hydrogen are called flammable gases. Flammable gases. Acetylene and hydrogen are called flammable gases. Similarly, non-flammable gases like you can say, which includes cryogenic gases, liquids below minus 100 degrees Celsius, poisonous gases like flammable if example is diethyl ether, carbon disulfide. They are extremely flammable gases. Carbon disulfide and diethyl ether are extremely flammable gases. Flammable solids. Flammable solids are mainly camphor. Then you have examples are camphor, straw phosphorus. Then you have triethyl aluminum, sodium sulfide, alkali metals. They are flammable. Sodium is flammable, for which sodium is kept in kerosene. Alkali magnesium, uncoated aluminum powder, they are all flammable solids. So students, are you listening to me? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
it is, so it is helpful to you, students.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, we will go to some oxidizing substances which are also very much dangerous for all of us in the chemical laboratory. Among these oxidizing agents are mainly organic peroxides. You know, peroxide means you have oxygen linkage. It's called peroxide. Like you know, benzoyl peroxide, hydrogen peroxide. These are very good oxidizing substances, and they are not combustible, hence they are dangerous to use. So when you are using this in the chemical lab, you must take special precautions. Some chromates, dichromates, chlorates, perchlorates, all are oxidizing substances. Very much inflammable and also dangerous. Next is poisonous and infectious substances. You know, some toxic substances like mercury chloride, potassium cyanide, they are very much toxic. Potassium cyanide is a dangerous thing. You know, earlier the terrorists are using these potassium cyanide tablets because whenever they caught red-handed or they caught by police or by military persons, then they immediately take this capsule and they suicide themselves. This is called potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide is very dangerous for all of us. So if you are handling with this one, then you must take some special care. Next one is your biohazardous substances. But they are mainly I can give you one example of this biohazardous substances means they are in the environment and they may cause also hazardous problems for all of us. Biohazardous substances, they are mainly of, yes, for example, medical treatment of an animal or human from biochemical research, which includes the production of testing of biological products. Whenever you are going to a medical and you are using some biological product for your cure, then the byproducts are also coming out from medicine or from medical also biohazardous for all of us. Next one is radioactive substances. The radioactive materials, you know, they radiate emission of radiations like alpha, beta, and gamma. So you are working if you are working or Tata you use of hazardous chemical like uranium, thorium, plutonium. These are radioactive substances and they emit alpha, beta, and gamma radiation. So you have to be sure about the precautionary measures taken when you are in the lab of a radioactive substances. Then next is corrosive substances. Many chemicals are corrosive, like hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, alkyl like sodium hydroxide. They are very much corrosive in nature. So you have to be sure, you have to use safety protocol when you are handling with this type of chemicals. And so one more thing I can see that there are various symbols used to H a diagram for quick hazardous recognition. Having a diamond shaped, I think you have seen in many chemical factories. If you have visited or if you have not visited, also, whenever you are going to visit, then you look into the symbols of hazardous identification. Like if the substance, I think in the home also, if you are using fire extinguisher or any type of such hazardous substance, then also on the one symbol you can see on its surface of the bottle or surface of the cover. So if it is explosive, then the color used is orange. So if you have seen a pictogram having orange color, then remember it is explosive. If it is red, then it is flammable, means it will catch fire. Flammable is a red color. If it is water reactive, means पानी से कुछ रिएक्शन होगा तो ये होगा ब्लू कलर. ऑक्सीडाइजर इज येलो कलर. टॉक्सिक और इन्फेक्टिशियस होगा तो ये होगा व्हाइट कलर. रेडियो एक्टिव तो ये होगा येलो व्हाइट और ओनली व्हाइट. कोरोसिव इट विल ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट. Black and white, black and white. So these are the colors you can able to see in the pictogram or in a diamond shaped label. That color indicates the nature of the hazard which will going to occur. So for identification of hazard, you may use this United Nations hazard class diamond shaped label having a pictogram having different colors. Okay, so I think last portion I will complete it. That is list of some common chemicals showing the compatible chemicals. So acetic acid acetic acid is incompatible with chromic acid. See, some not compatible with others. So try to remember that whenever you are using an acid, you do not mix with other things because it may be a big problem for all of you. Like acetylene, you do not use acetylene with chlorine, bromine, copper, fluorine, silver or mercury. Similarly, ammonia, you don't use mercury. Ammonium nitrate, don't use acid or flammable liquids like this. So if you are having calcium oxide, don't use water. Bromine, then don't use chlorine because they may react and it may get explosion. So a table is given in the book or in your PDF, table 5.1. That one you please look into. Which chemicals are not compatible with which chemicals? Given in the table 5.1. Then handling of chemicals. So remember, handling of chemicals is very important. It is very also safety. Therefore, you have to be sure about the dangerous liquids and their use. So I am not going into this. So various safety handling glassware is there also, because you know in the chemistry lab or in the industry, many instruments are made up of glassware. So you have to be sure about the safety of the glassware because they are very prone to explosion. So you have to take care of it. And various steps are there. You can read your book. It is written. The steps are there. Keep glassware away from edge of the bench top, because if you are keeping the glassware, don't keep on the bench top because it may simply fall down and it may crack also. Always clamp your reaction flask and suction flask securely. When you are using any glass apparatus and clamping on a stand, then you should clamp it very firmly. Otherwise, it may fall down and may create some problem for all of you. But this is a very easy. So you can read these things in your book. So equipments and electrical safety. So you know improper wearing, improper choice of huge and deterioration in the installation system, accidental touches, breaking earthing system. If earthing system has been breaked, then you have to check it thoroughly. Improper operations or use of unconventional tools. Do use electrical equipments like heating metal motors, hot plates, proper electrical equipment, then that it should be properly attached to the electrical connections, and you should check that there is no you can say defective wires are present, because this may cause a problem for you. Health, not health problem, but a problem for your life. Similarly, check the cord, plug, etc. Always disconnect the plug when you are not using it. Keep water away from all. जहां पर इलेक्ट्रिकल इक्विपमेंट होगा इसके पास में कोई पानी नहीं रखना है. कीप वाटर अवे from all electrical equipments. All these things you can take note of it. Emergency procedure. Sometimes after taking so many precautions also, something may happen. So a first time ad is required for it. You must have first time ad for chemical burns. For example, burning has happened to your hand or mouth or any part of the body. And first step is that you have to be careful about the first aid. So first aid is very important. Remove the victim from the source of the burn, cool the burn using large amounts of cool water. So when there is a burning, then use small superficial burns. If the burn is very high, very large burning is there, don't use ice. It may cause you are all listening, okay?
Yes, sir.
So we are reaching the last of the last portion of this of this sorry of this class. That is, if something will happen in the lab, then first aid must be there. In case of a minor cut or abrasion, clean the wound and surrounding with the skin with a soap and water to avoid contamination. Wash away from the wound and not towards it. So many safety protocols are there. Similarly, ingestion of chemicals. If you have inhaled some chemicals, then what type of first aid you are using? If the corrosive material is confined to mouth only, then repeated mouthwash is important. If the chemical has been injected into your body, then it would be biggest problem. Don't try to neutralize it by using any chemical. Please arrange a medical help and better to transport to hospital. Okay, students, listening to me?
Yes.
Oh, hello? Yes? Any doubt?
Yes.
If you have inhaled some chemical in the laboratory, then what you would do? You don't use any other chemicals to take so that it will neutralize, but better to go to a hospital. Similarly, do not try to the next one, inhalation of gas or vapors. If you have inhaled gas or vapors, immediately take to a fresh air. Don't keep the person inside the lab. Take him out to the fresh air, and then if the victim is unconscious, means sense nahi hai, then place in a face down position and check for the breathing. On the first sight of difficulty in breathing or stop breathing, apply artificial respiratory immediately. Mouth to mouth method. Keep the patient warm as quiet as possible till the help arrives. Call for a medical help. So whenever you are exposed to gas, then very important is that the victim must be taken to the fresh air place, a place having fresh air, put the face down position and check for the breathing. On the first side of difficulty in breathing, then you do the mouth to mouth. इसका मुंह से तो मुंह लेकर कुछ मतलब कुछ ऑक्सीजन दे सकते हो. Then immediately call for medical help. So similarly, these are some of the then if there is fire accident, then remember very important is your clothing should catch fire immediately. Drop to the floor and roll to smother flames and call up for help. If बॉडी में फ्लेम लग गया है, मतलब कोई तुम्हारा क्लोथ में फ्लेम लग गया है, then it will immediately you simply drop to the floor and roll to smoother the flames. तो रोलिंग करने से क्या होगा कि फ्लेम simply remove हो जाएगा and help or call for help. If a compound or solvent catches on fire, you can quickly cover the flames with a piece of glassware. For example, कोई भी एक hazardous chemical जल रहा है within a particular bottle or vessel, then immediately cover a glassware over it. Then it will cut up oxygen and immediately the fire will extinguish. If feasible, use a fire extinguisher and put up the fire. Do not put water on the organic chemicals because it will only spread the fire. If you are putting water into organic chemicals, then it will simply spread the fire, means the fire will not extinguish, but it will have more havoc for you. If no one is in authority is available, put the fire alarm. So you have to also on the fire alarm in the laboratory. These are some of the first aids you should employ during any hazardous problems or explosive problems or any type of usage occur in the lab. So that's all about students about your unit 4 and 5. And I think I have tried my best to explain you the various units of this chapters. So I think any doubt you can ask me because 5 minutes left, so you can ask me any doubts you have. So you have, I think you have enjoyed the class, yes or no? So if you have no doubt, then we can conclude it because 2 or 3 minutes left. Yes, you can use data science in chemical analysis. Nowadays, artificial intelligence has also come to do something in the chemical analysis of in the laboratory. So artificial intelligence help can also be taken. Nowadays, many industries are using artificial intelligence. Means what is to be done, what is not to be done, can be done by artificial intelligence. So the data science is very important in chemical analysis. Any more question? Okay, thanks to all of you for listening me, because some problems arises due to network issues, so it is not in my control, but I've tried to solve it. So thanks to all of you for joining this class and listening for 2 hours patiently. So on behalf of this IGNOU Center Bhubaneswar, I am yes, timing for tomorrow will be at same timing. If say from 5:30 to 7:30, same timing. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you all. Mahendra, thank you. Then Rohini, all thank you.
Thank you,
Radhasmita, all
sir.
thank you too. Yes, yes. Thank you very much. So, uh, thank you all. So you can left this. You can left, no problem. Thank you very much. Yes, tomorrow I will provide my mobile number and also my email ID. So don't worry. Tomorrow I will provide my mobile number and email ID. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.